Hello folks, the Atari 7800 Junkie back with you once again with another pickups video, and I'm very excited for this one. I'm sure you'll see in the title of this video why I'm excited, but anytime I can get a system where I can play a whole new set of games, that makes me very happy, and the price I got it for is even going to be better than that. But first, I'm going to show you stuff from newest system to oldest system, like I always do, games that I got recently. So first things first is one that I picked up for $4.50 from a flea market, and unfortunately it's not in its original case, it's in a regular DVD case, but it is the Namco Museum Mega Mix on the Wii. And I bought that for the 18 arcade games on there, not the 6 remake games that they put on there. But, you know, it's got all, you know, the main classes, Pac-Man, Galaga, ZVS. But oddly enough, I don't think Pole Position's on here. And Miss Pac-Man's not on here, you know. But, I guess it's okay. There's also some lesser-known games, like Dig Dug 2's on here. Dig Dug 1's on there as well, but Dig Dug 2... Rally X is on there along with New Rally X, so why both had to be on there, I'm not exactly sure. Gapless, which is also known as Galaga 3, is on there, along with Galaga and Galaxian. And there were a couple Pac-Man games. There was Super Pac-Man, which is kind of well known, and then there was another one. You know, it wasn't like Baby Pac-Man or anything like that, but I can't remember what the other one is on there. And it's going to be very interesting to play those, at least when I get tired of Test Drive Unlimited on the 360 and get tired of this new system here. The next two games I got were in a Curb Alert on Craigslist. They were free in a bag of random stuff. I actually only went to get it because there was a potty seat for Zoe. And, you know, it was a Sesame Street potty seat, and these games just happened to be with it. There was a couple of game cases of Jaws Unlimited and NCAA Football 2005 that did not have the games in them, so I'm not going to show those. But these two did have the games in them, and that's MLB 06 The Show, and I love baseball, so I'll definitely give that a whirl. And Madden 04 with the Dirty Bird himself, Michael Vick, on there. So, yeah, whatever. They were free. There was also a Max Payne game in there that I've already given away to a friend of mine that I work with. And the other thing I found on the PlayStation 2, I found at Molly's old bedroom at her mom and dad's house. I was there looking for her old state quarter book because at a garage sale this past weekend I found a state quarter map that I figured would be awesome to fill up with all 50 state quarters for Zoe to have. To kind of just go along with her piggy bank and whatnot. And Molly has her book that had a lot of them in there, so I basically transferred it to the map. But then I'm going to keep the book for myself and have my own state quarter thing too. So we'll end up with 100 quarters. And I like old coins. One of these days I'm going to have to show my old coins. If I ever get like an HD video camera where I can show these coins in detail, I would definitely show off my coin collection. But for now, you know, I'll keep with the video games, and it's this. It's a Dance Dance Revolution dance pad for the PlayStation 2. We have 3 DDR games. Now the only thing is, we don't know if this works. Molly does not know if this works or not, so I'll definitely have to try it out. Can't try it out right now because Zoe's already asleep for the night, but definitely want to give that a whirl. The next 2 games I literally only bought for the game cases themselves. Basically, the next 2 games I've owned on the original PlayStation for a while, but I don't have the original cases, or at least I didn't. And I saw them each for $1.99 at a Goodwill, so I picked it up basically for the case and the manual. They're both greatest hits versions, but they're both awesome games. The first one here is Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped, and the other one is the original Driver. And basically, I think I already know who I'm going to give these to. I have another friend that I work with who is going to be looking for her Game Boy Advance games, and basically she's going to give me her entire stash of them. She does not play them anymore. And I will definitely show that off when or if that actually comes to fruition, but in the meantime, if she does get them to me, I also know she has a PlayStation, and I'll probably give her the discs out of these cases. certainly I will keep the cases for my games, which I know mine work. I don't know if these discs work. I probably won't even try them out. I have no reason to. You know, especially if I, well, no, I guess I will try them out. I'll make sure that they work for her. Okay, last thing here, and probably the reason you guys are watching this video, which is related to the title of the video, is my new system. And what may be a little bit disappointing, it is a clone system, but it's going to allow me to play games that I've only been able to play as downloads on the Wii before, or on that Xbox that my brother gave me, the ROMs. And what system is it? Well, it's this. It's the FC Twin System, which it will allow me to play NES games and Super NES games. Now, I already have 2 Super Nintendos, so I really had no reason to have this for a Super Nintendo, but for the NES part, that's what I bought this for, and this was $15. It did come with the plug and the RCA cables. I just took them out for this video, but it did come with the plug and everything, and it actually came with 4 games, 2 of which I've already previously owned, and 2 of which are new to me. And the 2 that I've previously owned is, well, Super Mario World, and this is actually my 3rd copy of it. And the other game that I've owned is Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Of all the NES games, I only had 3 NES games prior to today, and one of them had to be Mike Tyson's Punch-Out that they had coming with this system. What are the odds? I don't know. But this label has a rip in it, so I'm definitely going to keep the one I previously had. Now, all these games in this system is very dusty, so I got to clean them off. But the other 2 games here are very, very awesome. Even if the quality of this first cartridge is not the best, DuckTales, and obviously I'm sure this catches your eye right there, but it does work perfectly fine, and I can't wait to sink my teeth into this game. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a little bit of a rattle there, but definitely, I played it for probably about 5-10 minutes, not really getting into it earlier today, but I was just trying to make it work. And, it worked the first time, so that was awesome. And then the other game is, well, I'll tell you the story of how I even got this. See, when I stopped at a yard sale today, which is kind of weird to see yard sales on a Thursday, but, I stopped, I looked at some stuff, nothing there that I was really seeing. I asked about a radio flyer covered thing for Zoe. They were wanting $50 for it. They said they bought it for like $110, but I asked Molly about it. She said they were probably right about the price, but we didn't really need one right now, I guess. But I was there. I asked them if they had any video games, and they said no. They were keeping them whatever video games they had, and they weren't going to do it. And as I start to walk away, I say, well, wait a minute. Because I'm wearing this shirt, it reminded them of the FC Twin. And why did it? Because they had that game with it. So, and I've already had this downloaded on the Wii, but I'm definitely glad to have it in cartridge form, because this is and will always be my favorite game of all time, despite the fact that, yes, I do have the love for the Atari 7800 and the 2600, but this was the game that introduced me to video games when I was 5 years old, and I loved it then. I still love it now. And, if I wasn't wearing this shirt today, if I didn't pick this shirt today, I would not have this. I would not have a way to play NES games and to now actually be able to start an NES collection, because Molly really wouldn't let me start one without having a system to play it on. Now, of course, I'm still going to look for an actual Nintendo Entertainment System. I'm definitely not going to stop looking for the real system. But, in the meantime, this will definitely work in the meantime. I'll just make sure to stay away from Castlevania 3, though. One other thing this came with, it did come with 2 FC Twin controllers, which look very, very similar to Super Nintendo controllers, except that they're mostly black. It even keeps the color scheme the same with the buttons right there. The only thing about this, and I don't know if I can really illustrate this, is that the cords are shorter, but the good news is that it uses the same pin-out combination for the controller slots. So, as the original Super Nintendo, so, you know, I could use the FC Twin controllers, which it came with 2 of, and I did play, you know, when I was testing out the system, I played with it, and they felt fine. But I can also take my actual Super Nintendo controller. This, I previously had it, that did not come with one. But I can take my actual Super Nintendo controller and plug that in and use that. And it'll work for both the NES and Super NES games. In fact, they make it work to where for NES games, the top 2 would be B on the old NES, and the bottom 2 would be the A on the NES controller. So it actually works perfectly. You know, I can play Super Mario World and Super Mario 3 the same exact way on this and not have to try to change it up. So, definitely am going to have to see if a Super Game Boy works in this. I believe I've seen videos that show that a Super Game Boy will work in this. When I did test this out, the Super Nintendo game, which was Super Mario World, it was the only one I tested, the colors was spot on, the sound was spot on, so much so that for now, basically because I don't have enough room for it to continue to plug in my Super Nintendo and this, I'm actually going to use this as my primary playing Super Nintendo for the moment. Now the NES, the colors was a bit off, the sound was a bit off, but again, for now, it's perfectly fine to play. The games worked, from moment one. There's no blinking light with these like there is in the original NES, and so that's definitely a plus. I do know there's going to be some games that are going to be incompatible. Of course, Castlevania 3 is the biggest example, but I know there's a few more out there. But at least all the games I have, the ones I got today, and the ones I had previously, of course the other Punch-Out, Target Renegade, and RBI Baseball 3, which is a Tengen game, all work on this just fine. So definitely glad that I was able to get this today. Molly could tell you I was shaking when I came home with this, and surprisingly, usually, if I buy a system, she's usually a bit upset, but she knew I've been looking for an NES forever, and I don't know if I told you guys the price yet. I think I neglected that. The price was right on this too. It was only $15. So $15 where you get a system that plays 2 different types of games, 2 controllers with it, and 4 games is definitely not a bad price, even if it is a clone system. It did not have the original box that they bought it in, and the plug itself, there is like half the casing is off the plug, but it's not sparking or anything, so I think it's okay for now. I think I'm just going to put some electric tape around it for now. I'll probably have to get one of those plugs that they sell at Walmart that have like the multiple tips and change the wattage on it and whatnot to basically replace it. But again, for now, everything is definitely good. I really couldn't be much happier than I am right now. Unless it had been an actual NES for $15, which I've yet to see in my area at least. Anyways, I'm the Atari 7800 junkie who just had a video that had 0 Atari in it. And thank you all for watching, and until next time, folks, take care.